welcome to today's bite-sized training video on when we're going to be covering Pareto charts. So by the end of this session, you should have a good understanding of what a Pareto chart is and when and why you would utilize one during a change project. So what do we mean by when we say Pareto chart? Well, let's explore a little further. In a nutshell, it is a variety or form of a bar chart, but it is specifically designed to capture the contributing factors towards a problem. The difference between a Pareto chart and just a regular bar chart is that it actually orders the contributing factors by the ones which contribute most to least in a nice, easy visual way, working from left to right. So the ones that actually contribute most to the problem appear on the bars to the left, and then you'll see them bars are generally a lot higher, and then you'll see the bars dropping as you move towards the right, and it's showing you basically the weight of the contribution of issues compared to the overall percentage. So when you use the chart, it's great for analysis, and because it gives you a great starting point really to tackle things that contribute to 80% of the problem, and this is the overall ethos of the actual tool. Like I just mentioned, this concept of 80-20, it's kind of the fundamental premise of how a Pareto chart works. And it uses things that kind of work in general life as well around this. So as you can see on the slide, 80% of traffic is generally found on 20% of roads. 80% of wealth is generally owned by only 20% of people, and 80% of sales actually generally come from 20% of returning customers. And it works on that principle with the contribution of issues towards a problem. And it says that actually of the problem, there will be 80% of the entire issue, which is going to be impacted by just 20% of the inputs. So there only a couple of things are going to contribute into the main impact hit of this. So it just allows you to start where the quick wins are and make change where the biggest impact's going to be, instead of just putting a lot of time and effort into something that maybe only contributes to just 1% of the overall change. As you can see on this next slide, we've given you an example of what a Pareto chart might actually look like. And this chart demonstrates the contributing factors of a defect occurrence to the reasons as to why people are late to work. So as you can see on the left side, traffic is actually a massive contributor to the overall problem. Things like childcare, public transportation and weather are there in an ever decreasing fashion of the things that contribute towards the problem. And the red line itself on there actually demonstrates a percent factor of the contribution of each category. So, for example, as you can see with the traffic, it's massive, the bar is huge, and then when you scroll along to the top of the actual bar and work it out, it's nearly up to 40%. So as you can see where the start of the orange to red line occurs, right in the middle of the bar, that's an indication of that percentage contributing factor. What happens is, as you move to the right, each bar is calculated, its percentage contributing factor, and then added to the previous. So as you can see, that line moves up steadily from around about 40% all the way up to 800% to the far right once you've actually included all of the lines of data there. In effect, it's the first three things then. So when you look at this actual map that we've got here in the graph there, and I've put it like a blue dotted line coming across from the 80% mark to that red line and going down, you can actually see that it's only the first three bars that contribute into this. So it's the 80% of the issue is covered by those first three elements, which is traffic, childcare and public transportation. The next thing really to do is to go through how we create these. You can get various programs that can do it for you, but if you wanted to start from scratch, they're quite straightforward to make yourself. And as you can see here, we've got an example of data. On the left hand side here, the legend goes up to 24. So we need to try to figure out what each percent ratio of each count on the left is, and what that actually means is a percentage on the right hand side. So this is quite a straightforward example. 24, it's very close to 25, which is almost like a quarter of a whole 100, if that makes sense. So we know for every score of 1 on the left, it's going to equal 4% on the right, and that's how it kind of builds the bar up as you go. So once you've got your basic shape of your axes out in place, and you can see here that 12 is halfway before 24, and that's exactly aligned to the 50% mark, so you can see that they balance out. So the starting point is to try to figure out and balance those, and then you can start to add your categories in, starting with the highest occurrence to the left, and then also adding your percentage bar on top of that too. Add on the dot at the top of the bar that presents the equivalent percent value, and then tallying all of the lines as you're working in from left to right, adding in the percentage on top as you go. And you can see from the example as it builds here that those 3 bars are kind of steadily getting up to around about 60 to 70% of the total contributing factor. Once you've completed it, you will have your top contributing factors, and all you need to do is draw your line from 80% across on the percent line until it intersects where the percent line is, and then just go straight down, and they show you all of the things that contribute into that top 80%, and that's where you focus your energy. So in a nutshell, that gives you some really nice overview of how you would make a Pareto chart. A number of our staff have actually utilized these and made them as part of their lean program, so you'll be able to find some real examples on the internet if you search a little bit more deeply into the improvements content. So if you have any questions relating to Pareto charts, please reach out to the leadership and improvement team on the email address displayed on screen, and we'll be happy to support your learning journey. So also enclosed is some information regarding other programs available. Some of them are looking at different quality improvement courses and different leadership courses. Some of them are half days, some of them go all through to full days, and it's the variety of that's there really. It's up to you, I think, on maybe about identifying which ones you need next. So many of the courses as well, we have CP accredited, and we're also looking at getting more of them accredited in the near future. We're going to keep you updated on anything else that we have via marketing from Strive. Please do get in contact if you need us following this training. Thank you very much.